After traveling to the other side of the city, buying an R32 Skyline that apparently was stolen in the past, finding out that the motor had a massive sized hole in it, replacing the motor, and then finally getting the Skyline driving for the first time. Yeah! Today, guys, we are saying goodbye. We're saying goodbye to the stolen R32 Skyline because we are sending it off to paint. Okay guys, today is the day that we drop the Skyline off for paint, finally. And we are, of course, taking it to Royal Drip Works. My buddy Mac is going to be helping us out. He's going to be painting this a color, which I can't disclose yet. You guys are going to have to wait for that. But we are basically just around the corner from Mac's shop, so we're going to head there now. And hopefully he can give us some good news and tell me that he can make this thing look pretty. The reason for the lack of uploads is because we have been waiting to drop this Skyline off for paint. Now the engine doesn't run perfectly, and we're not going to address that issue because, as the title of the video suggests, we have some bigger plans. For now, the car does run and drive, so that's why we're dropping it off for paint. Before we continue guys, I want to say a massive thank you to Topdon for sponsoring today's video, as they have sent me out a jump starter which I was going to purchase for the garage a long time ago, but thankfully they sent me out one of theirs. And this one's a little bit different to other ones on the market, so let's unbox it and I'll show you what's so good about this one. So right out the box, we have a carry case, which is very convenient. We of course have the jump starter itself. Looks like we also have a USB-C cable to charge the battery. There's of course instructions to also help you connect it to your phone. That's right, you can connect this jump starter to your phone. Now on a full charge, this jump starter can be used multiple times, so you can keep it in the back of your car in case of an emergency, or of course in the garage. It also has a 300 lumen LED light, which includes an SOS mode and a strobe light. Now to triple down as an emergency device, it also has USB ports and a Type-C port to charge other devices like your phone. This is the reason I'll basically be taking this like whenever I travel or in case of an emergency. You can actually connect this to your phone using Topdon's application. Here you can see all the important stuff like the state of your battery's charge and the state of your battery's health. And if you're also having trouble with a stubborn battery, there's also a little boost function here on the jump starter, which can jumpstart even batteries with almost zero voltage. We're now going to put this V2200 to the test on my AU Falcon. This is a battery that's been sitting around in the garage for ages. 8.3 volts. All right, the battery is completely dead. Let's see if the V2200 can jumpstart this thing. Positive. Okay. Hell yeah, look at that. The V2200 also has half a dozen safety features to protect you from electrical problems like touching these cables when you try to jumpstart your car. It's also dust, drop, and water resistant to a certain degree, which means that it should be pretty reliable in a situation where you need it the most. This jump starter is super handy in and out of the garage, and it's almost a must-have because it can potentially stop an emergency from being an emergency. There's a link down below if you want to grab one of these yourself, and thank you again Topdon for sending me this jump starter. Really appreciate it. Now enjoy the video. Alright guys, we're here with the R32 at our friends over at Royal Drip Works, aka Mac. What's going on, Mac?
How you doing, bro?
Pretty much, Mac, he's going to be taking this car for the next couple weeks and he's going to be painting it. Do you want to run us through, man, like how are you going to go about doing this, because it's a lot of work?
So basically this car's getting a full respray. We're going to remove all the panels, do all the door jams.
What do you reckon is going to be like the hardest part about this entire thing?
I think it would be quite straightforward. We've got to do all the repairs first, obviously follow the procedures, get it in primer and put some paint on it.
So we're also doing like a open door respray, so they're going to be taking out the glass, the front and the back, just so that we could basically have the car painted like factory. So you even said that you're gonna do underneath the bonnet as well, right?
Yeah, we'll freshen up all the panels with the boot, the bonnet, the doors, to make sure both sides are all painted nice.
Do you reckon this is gonna be easier than the other R32 that we did?
Definitely, 100%.
Now, of course, you guys might remember the other R32 that we got painted also by Mac at Royal Dripworks, and we found Mac through Larlin at Auto Indulgence. Larlin was unfortunately not able to be there today, but if you guys are looking for work to get done to your car, contact Auto Indulgence. Larlin can help you source body kits and other things that you need to get your car looking good, as well as mechanical work. And of course, without Larlin, I would not have found Royal Dripworks, so send him a message if you have any questions. I've also got a few new parts, so this Mac said that I need to get a new one of those, probably. Could you repair that anyway?
You could repair it. The only thing is, like, you know, once you repair plastic work, there's a possible chance that it could, you know, crack again.
I got new ones. Hell yeah. From JSI Aero. You reckon that's the same? Last time I came here and I basically got Mac to fix everything instead of getting new things. So Mac asked me to strip down the paint on this because I think I've got a photo somewhere of what it used to look like, but someone had literally just rattle canned it. And I don't know, maybe I don't know, what kind of rattle can was that, man?
So rattle cans are normally like enamel paint, and to put the 2-pack and solvent-based paint on it is, not the best idea. So
anyway, we'll be back in a few weeks, and I'm really excited to get this car back, man. Yeah, put a new motor in this thing as well because it's not running right. Yeah, have finally a clean R32. I'm excited. So guys, we are back from the paint shop, and I quickly want to talk to you about my recent trip to Japan, and you'll see why this matters in a second. But basically, every single morning, I would head to this store called Family Mart and pick up an egg sandwich and a coffee. I went to Family Mart every single morning in Japan, and that's what inspired this design on the back of this hoodie. What do you guys think? I have been waiting months for this hoodie to turn up at my doorstep. It's the STOLEN R32 Skyline in front of my favorite store in Japan, Family Mart. I've literally had dreams of driving a car to a Family Mart in Japan and just sitting there eating some food. And that's what basically inspired this whole design. And of course, as you guys know, it is currently winter, and I made sure to get the thickest, nicest hoodies for you guys. These will keep you warm during winter, and of course, I'll be wearing it every single time that I'm in the garage. If you want to grab one of these hoodies, head over to bankyspec.com, and of course, we have other t-shirts with other sick designs and jet tags to help support the channel. So now that we have dropped the STOLEN R32 Skyline off for paint, it is now time to pick up the new motor that's going to be going in it, because we are ditching the RB20 and we're going with something bigger and better. So let's go. We're heading to the other side of the city. We're going to be taking the beast, the AU Falcon, because recently I installed one of these babies. You jealous, Lachlan?
Not at all.
Yes,
I got a better turbo.
You do. We're going to be getting a box trailer, getting a new motor, which I'll reveal in a minute, but we need to head to the other side of the city with the AU Falcon to get it. So, see you guys in a second. Let's go. Now, yes, the AU Falcon is my dedicated drift car at this point, but it is also a great tow car. First time towing with the AU, and it should be interesting because it's got a locked differential. So, yep, tires are already nice and warm. Pretty nervous. It's got coilovers at the back, so it's going to be pretty stiff. And with the tow bar installed, we can put a box trailer on this thing and head to the other side of the city to pick up yet another motor for the 32 Skyline. I can't believe the trailer lights work.
Yeah, I'm shocked with that.
You jelly?
Very.
Crazy.
Just being an R32 enthusiast.
Yep.
Sounds like it's got comp. Yeah, it does apparently. What do you think, Sam?
I think it should be pretty good.
So guys, the big reveal, I'm picking up an RB25 DET Neo for the R32 Skyline. Now I know a lot of you guys wanted me to do something outrageous like barra swap the thing, but we want to keep it simple because this is going to be a street car. Now this RB25 wasn't found on Facebook Marketplace, it was actually listed on Gumtree. It was listed for $3,300, which was already cheap for an RB25 Neo, but with a little bit of negotiating, we got this down to 2.9K. Now we'll talk a little bit more about this in a second once we get it home, but we are taking a little bit of a risk here because I'm buying an engine that hasn't ran in years. We just got home after about 3.5 hours. We've got the RB25 Neo. That's right, Neo baby, inside. Hell yeah, this thing is sick. We'll take a closer look at it tomorrow. Alright guys, it is now the next day and we finally have the RB25 DET Neo in the garage. And I decided to go with the Neo because it fixes some of the issues that the earlier RB25s have, like oil problems. Not to say that these RB25 Neos don't have oil problems, they still do. But there's restrictors, I believe, already in the block. The restrictors fix issues such as the oil getting trapped in the head. You know, the restrictors being in the block help it a little bit, but you do, of course, need back drain here if you want to push bulk power. I half know what I'm talking about. I sort of just know that these are better. That's why I went with this one. And it was cheap. So in the past, this did have a high mount turbo on it. And we also got compression numbers as well. And like I said, I got it from Gumtree, which was kind of interesting because usually I don't buy stuff off Gumtree, but yeah, you can definitely still find hidden gems on there. This is kind of interesting though. Look, what's going on here, man? Coolant valley has been sort of like blocked off. Yeah, it's been fully RTB'd. So again, I know you guys wanted to see something crazy like a Barra swap or a JZ swap. We've opted for the RB25 DET Neo. Now the difference between the Neo engine compared to the other RB25 DETs is that the Neo engine has solid lifters, which means that it's going to be better for high RPM. It's also got a better ignition system. It has coil on plug rather than the standard ignition coil. And because it's already got oil restrictors, you don't need to do too much to these things to make bulk power. So we're just putting the engine on the engine stand now. I've got the engine crane set up. I can't tell you how excited I am, guys, to have another straight 6 turbo in the garage, also being a 2.5 litre like my 1JZ GTE. So you guys are probably now wondering, what are the plans with this RB25? What are we going to do to this thing? Because these engines are capable of big power. Well, we're going to be putting an aftermarket intake manifold and exhaust manifold, running a bigger turbo, hopefully get a Link ECU or a Haltech, something that's going to, you know, manage the entire thing. We're in talks with a few companies and hopefully they can pull through. Yeah, because this thing has solid lifters, you can sit this thing on limiter for days and not have a single problem because the lifters aren't gonna, you know, come off or the shims aren't gonna rip off or anything. Now, some of you guys might follow me on Instagram, and if you do, you would have seen that we have sold the other R32 Skyline, the one that we did previous work on that we bought from a barn, basically. The current Skyline that we are building, the Stolen Skyline, can be registered and put on Australian roads. The other one had never been complied before, meaning that we would need to go through compliance in order to get it on the road. You also need to get a VAS certificate in order to pass the car. It would have just costed a lot of money to get that car on the road. So I do have to do things that make the most financial sense, and it obviously made sense that I build the other Skyline and not keep the other one. I did want to turn that into a drift car, but of course, you know, I've got the AE Falcon and that'll do for now. So basically it's just going to be easier to register the other one and put it on the road. Australia's got pretty harsh laws, especially Victoria, so we have to go with the laws and do everything right. If you have any questions, of course, please comment them down below. But I know a lot of you guys were super invested in that car, and so was I, because it was my first like big barn find project. But unfortunately, while getting that thing painted, I also fortunately found the Stolen Skyline. So it all kind of worked out to me building the Stolen one. Hopefully that makes sense. Thanks guys for watching, and if you want to see more content, click subscribe. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Catch ya.